Good Tuesday morning, everybody. A milder start this morning. We have a warm day on tap. Temperatures will be up near 80 this afternoon. It's going to be breezy and it'll be a dry day as well. So we are under red flag warning today, meaning any brush fire that starts could spread quickly. So keep that in mind. With gusty winds today, winds will be up to about 30 miles per hour. We'll have clouds mixed with some sunshine and some smoke way high up in the sky as well. So the sky, the sunshine beaming through, but obscured from time to time. But temps up near 80 degrees. A front drops down tonight. You hardly notice it. I mean, it might bring us a spot shower, but most will be staying dry. You will notice it temperature-wise by tomorrow, with readings being much cooler. We'll start in the 40s to around 50, but readings don't go up much. Highs tomorrow in the lower 60s, but today we're up near 80 degrees. Both days are dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Upper 60s Thursday. Perhaps a frosty start Thursday morning, Friday into the weekend. Friday looks nice. Perhaps some rain now. Looks like more so Saturday. All right, let's check on today's top stories. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning, Dan. I'm Amanda Callahan. Here's your latest news update from Western Mass News. 2 people are without a place to stay after an apartment fire in Chicopee last night. That call came in just before 11 p.m. The fire broke out in an unoccupied apartment on Pendleton Avenue and spread to nearby units. Mutual aid was called in from Holyoke and Westover. Chicopee fire officials believe an electrical malfunction caused the fire. Pendleton Ave remains closed at this time. A Springfield man was arrested Friday night. Springfield police pulled over 29-year-old Frankie Santiago Jr. on Dale Street just before 9 p.m. for using his cell phone while driving. When officers approached the car, they noticed several open containers of alcohol, then found a gun inside as well. That gun had been reported stolen out of Springfield. The officers also found 3 pounds of marijuana, more than $13,000 in cash. Santiago was arrested and now faces firearm and drug charges. New details about the Holyoke police captain who was recently suspended from his job. The department confirming with us that police captain Manuel Reyes performed an unwarranted query check on an individual who was speaking with his estranged wife. The investigation into that matter is ongoing.